Hello my fellow gamers, welcome to the channel and hope you're all doing okay. Yes, I haven't put a video out for a few days, but with the heat wave and life, I just haven't had the time. So today's video is gonna be a VR of my top 10 consoles, which is in reply to Subliminal's VCR video when he done one. So Grogu and myself is going to be telling you a bit of history and why I got the consoles in the top 10 in the order which you're in. So let's get started. In at number 10 is the Mega CD. When I first seen this and I had it bought for me as a present to listen to audio CDs and also the soundtrack of the games which was on the games disc was quite amazing. And also this is the first time I had seen full motion video games, and I know by today's standard now they don't look very good, but back then in the 90s he was cutting edge. And one of the first games I bought was Night Trap, and I will say I did play it for the story and not to be spying on the girls around the house, but that's another story. But I still own my Mega CD now, and my only one regret is back when it came out, I did originally buy Snatcher, and I bought it on Friday from HMV. I finished the game by Sunday, and I decided to return the game and exchange it for something else. Well, of course, I would like to have it back in my collection now because the price that goes for now boxed with manual is insane. So that's my brief history with the Mega CD. And in at number 9 is the Atari Jaguar. I know this console has not always been favoured, or and a lot of criticism was around the controller because it looked like they attached a phone pad to it, but there was many good games on it, and I was lucky enough that I picked up the Atari Jaguar from an electronics store called Rumblos in the UK, and they were closing down at the time, and they were having a clearance sale, so they were like 70% off consoles and games and stuff. So if I remember rightly, I paid about £75 for the Jag console, and then I bought a few games and a spare controller to go with it. But the story behind that is when they were having the sale, excuse me, I set my alarm to get up in the morning, but for some reason I didn't hear the alarm, and so I got up late, so I had to rush out the house, get over, get in the queue, and hope they still had some left over there, and luckily they did. So that was a good day on buying the Atari Jaguar and some games. In at number 8 is the Neo Geo AES. while it's considered the rich man's console and the price of the console and the games are quite insane, I was quite lucky enough that when I bought it back around 2009 or 2010 at the local independent store, I managed to get it with two games, the stick and a gamepad for £120, I think it was. So I got lucky, and my entrance into it was not too bad. And I managed to pick up a few games which I covered in a previous video on my channel, and I got them for a reasonable price. But now with the new AES Plus announced coming out in November, then hopefully people will get the chance now to experience the awesome console, which is the AES, and plus you no longer need to have SCART socket or anything, and you can just connect it to a modern TV with HDMI and carry on playing the games. Excuse me. In at number 7 is the Nintendo 3DS. This console was fun as it was portable, but games had good graphics, and there was also a 3D mode on it, which some games looked really good in 3D, which was like Star Fox 64 3D, Super Mario 3D Land, and Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. But otherwise, the majority of the games didn't really benefit from the 3D functions, so a lot of the time gamers, including myself, would just switch off the 3D function and enjoy the games as natural because they looked much better and you didn't have to worry about looking at it on angles. My version of the 3DS, I bought the Legend of Zelda edition, which came with the Zelda game already pre-installed, and you see in the console in the picture to demonstrate this 3DS. Number 6 is the Nintendo Wii. The Wii will always be a console that I had the most fun with because it was great for like Christmas, New Year. If you were having a get together, you could just chuck a game on like Wii Sports, and you could do 10-pin bowling and various other games. But my favourite was always the 10-pin bowling. And because Christmas TV was usually so bad and boring, quite often me and my mother would have a game of 10-pin bowling and have a lot of fun over the Christmas period. And also, back in my 30s, I did use the Wii Fit board to get a bit fit and lose a bit of weight. And in all fairness, it did work well. Number 5 is the Xbox 360. I bought this again on launch day, and I always remember when I pre-ordered it, Gaming Cardiff was opening at 7:30 in the morning, and I remember queuing from 3 a.m. in the morning, and although it was cold, it was fun because there was a couple of people in front of me who was also queuing, and we got chatting, and this basically made the time pass until the shop was opened and we could buy the console and then head home to set it up and play it. Number 4 is the PS3. This console I found fun because besides the games that was available on it, it also had online features like PlayStation Home, which was a lot of fun to play online. And the launch consoles add the backward compatibility, so you could play the PS1 games and the PS2 games on it. And it was a shame that later on they removed this feature when they released the Slims. And also, it means something because my aunt bought me this for a Christmas present back at the time. Number 3 is the SNES. Although I never owned a SNES, I always enjoyed playing it at my mate's house, and I always Sega fan myself. I had the Mega Drive, but I was always impressed with the games like Star Wing, the Mario games, and also one of my favorite Zelda games from the franchise, A Link to the Past. You had the Mode 7 graphics, which was used in games like F-Zero and Super Mario Kart. And also, they had the Super Effects chip, which was used in a lot of games like Star Fox to give really good graphics for the time. And number 1, and in the number 2, I'm sorry, is the Game Gear. My first 8-bit console, whether you can class it as a console, I know it's a handheld, but I've still got all the games boxed with manuals in great condition, and also I managed at the time to buy a Master System converter for it so I could play Master System games on the Game Gear, which was great that you could just go out and take either a Master System game or Game Gear games and play them wherever you wanted. And also, because Mortal Kombat was one of my favorite fighting games, I would always make sure I had that game on me on the Game Gear so I could play it. And the graphics were surprisingly good for a little handheld. And in at number 1 is the Sega Mega Drive. This was the first 16-bit console that I owned, even though I was trying to decide between whether to buy this or SNES, but I went with the Mega Drive. And my father bought it for me for a Christmas present, and a lot of good memories came from that console, like when I used to play Streets of Rage 1 and 2 with my father, or Lethal Enforcers in co-op. We had lots and lots of fun, and well, it was just good memories from the time with my father. Well, that's my top 10 consoles, and I want to thank you for watching this video, and also to say goodbye from Grogu and myself, and we will catch you in the next video. Take care.